Okay, guys, this morning or today, I got a really uplifting, edifying, loving, bring peace word from the Lord that I needed, and I think everyone's going to need. I hope you listen to it. It'll be really quick. So I hope this is encouraging to you. It was encouraging to me, especially with what's going around. I just read a thumbnail saying, Um, you won't believe what LA residents are saying about the fires. And it says, God doesn't care about us. And it's a picture of someone um, in front of a Golden Globes uh, lettering, God does care. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. What greater gift, right? What greater gift. And he hears and he sees. He does care, and he shakes to wake up people to come to him because it's a fight for your eternal soul. And this is going to be edifying for the body. He's with you, he hears, he loves, and he's still calling those to come. Okay, so it's Saturday, it's January 11th, so 111, okay, and it's 12:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so at 3:18 a.m., I got 316 and 317 Strongs. So 316 Strongs is necessary, needful, indispensable. Okay, necessary, essential, intimate, right, or proper, meaning necessity or compulsion. Um, a need or necessity. Okay, let's see. Um, it conveys the idea of something that is required or indispensable, often in the context of fulfilling a duty or meeting a need. It is used to emphasize the importance of, or necessity of certain actions and relationships. Okay. Greco Roman world, the concept of necessity was often linked to fate or destiny, which that was the Greco Roman. Okay. With an emphasis on the inevitability of certain events. Inevitability of certain events. In the biblical context, however, necessity is often tied to divine will or moral obligation. The use reflects the understanding that certain actions or relationships are essential for the fulfillment of God's purposes or for the well being of the Christian community. Okay. When I saw that, it also means pressing or close. Okay. When I saw that, um, I also just felt that the shaking is necessary. The shaking is necessary to save more people. Just like when the rapture happens and the tribulation starts, the tribulation is necessary because there's going to be a lot that come to him in tribulation, and he doesn't want to lose anyone. Right? He's trying to save and get everyone to come to him that's coming. Okay, and he's calling everyone. He's calling. Right? So a lot of people are hard headed and you got to get hit aside the head, or some people just have to hit the bottom. Isn't that, I mean, if we can trust a therapist that I don't trust therapists, but I'm saying that if people go and they trust a therapist to say, well, they just have to hit rock bottom and they have nowhere else to go but up. Right. Well, it's like, God, your creator, the one who created you and everything. It's like sometimes you strip everything away and then you lean on God. You find God in that pit and he pulls you out of the murk and the mire. Right? Okay. It also means um, Akarkel. I don't know how to say that. Acharchel. It means to tremble or to quake. So quakes are necessary. Trembling is necessary. And it's going to happen. It's fulfilling a purpose. Um, okay, to tremble or to quake. It says, let's see. Let's see. Root suggests meaning to tremble, might suggest a person of humility or reverence. You know how they fell on their face before God and trembled. A position of humility or reverence, possibly indicating a life marked by a significant spiritual experience or a notable event that caused awe or fear. Okay. And then stay with me. It just has to start here. Okay. So 317, it means backward, behind, hinder part, back or um, behind or after. So that always means to me, like those that come after, like the second coming, those that come in the tribulation, those that were left behind, and endure that shaking and things like that. Um, And then it also means, I was reading, it says in ancient Hebrew culture, direction and position were significant in both physical and spiritual contexts. The concept of being behind or backward could symbolize a lack of progress or a return to previous states, often with negative connotations. This reflects the broader biblical theme of moving forward in faith and obedience to God. Move forward in faith and obedience to God. Just keep going. Just keep going. He's already won the way. Oof, he's already won the race for you. Just finish and walk across the finish line. Just walk it out with him. Walk this life with him, okay? He's finished it by the blood. You know, you come to him, he's finished it by the blood and his resurrection. Okay. So moving forward in faith and obedience to God, rather than reverting to old ways or turning away from his guidance. And then it also, that was Hebrew. It also means in the Greek, by way of compulsion, compelled, forced, unwillingly, by force or necessarily, meaning to compel or to force. Okay, there it is again, that the shaking has to compel some people, um, and push them to God, right? Because he does not want to lose you. He does not want to lose your soul. He's not going to. He's God, but he's doing this to bring you to him. Some people need that, right? Um, it also means, in the context of early Christianity, the idea of compulsion um, versus willingness was significant, especially in discussions about giving, service, and obedience to God. So it says, we always push and compel each other to do right. We always compel and push each other as Christians to walk in love and to do works, right? Service and things like that. That's what we're supposed to do. You know, growth. It's growth. It's growth and fruits, and it helps. You know, I mean, once again, if we can trust sayings like old wives tell sayings and things like that, that what have you always heard when you're, having trouble? If you get your eyes off your own trouble and help someone else, it helps you forget about your trouble. Well, same thing. You know, it's like, well, they get that from the Bible. We encourage each other to do good works because when you're helping or serving someone or helping, um, you see, and it actually helps you when you help each other, and it changes your heart, and it helps, right? Okay. So then, okay, now remember this is 3:18 a.m. Okay? So then I got the words, "Be still and know that I am God. Behold the power of the Lord." Now listen, I was in my head because I'm always in my head. I want people to know the Lord. I want them to know love, and I want to walk and only say what the Lord wants me to say. And I do have a heart that aches to hurt people, right? I don't want to hurt people. Um, and so I'm constantly, even when I say something and I know it was the Lord urging me to say it, I go to the Lord throughout it through the night because it or days, not that I won't say it, and not that, but I go to the Lord with it a lot. Okay. Um, just like that scene, I think I was trying to put it on, but I had to cut it off. And Moses, when everything happened, at least in the movie, the cartoon, the Prince of Egypt in the cartoon at the end, but when the Pharaoh told him to leave because he had just lost his firstborn, Moses went out. He rejoiced in the Lord for his salvation, but he crumbled and cried because his heart, God's heart, it's his, and Moses's heart. It's just he crumbled and cried because he really didn't want the Pharaoh to lose his first son. I'm talking about, at least in that we we have love for one another. We have love for everyone. It just, you're not fighting the flesh, you're fighting the spirit, right? Okay. So once again, I'll say that because so since I was going over this in my head and just talking out to the Lord all night about this, he gave me those words. Now listen, be still and know that I am God. Behold the power of the Lord. And as soon as I heard be still and know that I am God, my mind went to peace. Everything about me went to peace and it felt so comforted. Okay. Then I got 347 Strongs. I have more. Stay with me. I was hoping to do this a little quicker to get it out for you because it's good. Okay, so 347 Strongs he gave me means in the Greek. Hold on, it's not pulling up. Okay. Um anok Anoklino, it means to recline, to lay back, to lean back. Okay. I lay upon, lean against, lay down, make to recline, pass, I lie back or recline. It's a position of rest. Rest on the Lord. Rest on his chest. Rest in him. Rest, recline, lean back. Now I was like, that's what I'm going to do, Lord. I'm going to rest and recline and lean back now with you. And whatever you urge me to put on, I'm put on. And I'm going to rest in you, rest in faith, rest in love, rest in you. Um, and also, I think during the Passover, like when they were drinking, I guess the wine or something, I think you lean back to drink the wine, and it means that it's like a position of rest. So you're resting on the wine's the blood, right? You're resting on the blood. You're resting on the blood of Jesus. You're resting on the blood. Okay. Um, let's see, Hebrew practice of sitting or lying down during meals. Yeah, as seen in the various Old Testament passages describing feasts and banquets. Yeah, see and rest. There's feast and banquets, the marriage supper of the Lamb, right? Um, This posture was a sign of relaxation and fellowship. It says it's the act of reclining, particularly at a meal in the cultural context of the time. It was customary to recline on couches during meals, especially during formal banquets or significant gatherings. Okay. Let's see what else. Let's see. In ancient Jewish and Greco-Roman culture, reclining at meals was a common practice among the free and wealthy. It symbolized leisure and the enjoyment of a meal in the company of others. The practice is often depicted in the context of the Last Supper and other significant meals in the New Testament, reflecting the intimate and communal nature of these gatherings. Okay, so lean on Jesus, lay back, rest. It also means Job. Okay, it means Eobi, Eob, Eobi, Job. Okay, to be hostile or to be an enemy, derived. Um, the name of Eobi is traditionally understood to mean persecuted or hated, reflected the trials and adversities faced by the biblical character Job. Job is a central figure of the book of Job, a wisdom book that explores themes of suffering, righteousness, and divine justice. Job is considered a patriarchal figure, possibly living during the time of the patriarchs like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The book of Job is set in the land of Uz, a region whose exact location is uncertain but is thought to be east of Israel. The narrative is a profound exploration of human suffering and divine sovereignty, and it is highly regarded for its literary and theological depths. Job's account is a testament to faith and perseverance amidst inexplicable sufferings. So he leaned on God. He had faith in God, and God restored him over abundantly, right? And it just kind of reminds me when we get restored in heaven. Okay, then I got the words from the Lord. Cast my cares upon him. Cast my cares upon him. It's 111 right now. it's 1:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 11. So it's 111111. When I was saying cast your cares upon him. Okay, I got those words. Cast your cares upon him. And then I got the verse, take your thoughts captive. Okay, so that verse is in 2 Corinthians chapter 10. So I'm going to read the first couple of verses to you. Now I, Paul, myself beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ, who in presence am base among you, and being absent am bold, and being absent and bold towards you. Being absent means he's not in their presence, so he's just writing this letter. Kind of like when I get on YouTube. I'm not around you, we just talk, and hopefully, you get something from what the Lord's telling me. Okay. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence, wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. If we look on things after the outward appearance, do we look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trusts to himself that he is Christ, let himself think this again, that as he is Christ, even so are we Christ's. For though I should boast some, what more of our authority, which the Lord hath given us for edification, and not for your destruction. I should not be ashamed, that I may not seem as if I would terrify you by letters. For his letters say that they are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech contemptible. Let us, as one, think this, that such as we are in the word by letters when we are absent, such we will be also in the deed when we are present. For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. But we will not boast of things without a measure, but according to the measure of the rule which God hath distributed to us, a measure to reach even unto you. For we stretch out ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reached not unto you, for we are come as far as to you, and in the preaching in the gospel of Christ, not boasting of things without our measure, that it is of other men's labors, but having hope, when your faith is increased, that we shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly, to preach the gospel in the regions beyond you, and not to boast in another man's line of things made ready to our hand. But he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. For not he that commendeth himself is approved, but whom the Lord commendeth. Okay, then I just got pulled to Philippians 3:9. And be found in him, not having mine own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Christ, and righteousness which is of God by faith. Okay, then Philippians 4:8, but I'm going to read 7 first. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good rapport, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me do, and the God of peace shall be with you. Then he reminded me of a video. It's like a 3-minute video, okay, or 5 minute or something like that, 3 minute, that I did 9 months ago. 9 months ago, and he wanted me to attach this with it. So I'm gonna try and get it and just go ahead and attach it. If not, um, it'll be in my description. A link will be in my description. You just go to that and click it. Okay. But then this morning, at my reading time, he led me to and gave me, I was like, what are we reading today, Lord? Okay. He gave me Galatians. Okay. So we're going to go to Galatians. I'm sorry. That's what I'm doing now. I'm moving to Galatians again. I'm sorry. And he gave me 4:10 to start. It's not long. Okay. Galatians 4:10. Ye observe days and months and times and years. And then he gave me Galatians. There's only a couple of chapters. Work with me. Okay. Verses 10 through 12 again. Okay. Um, okay. So Galatians chapter 1, starting verses 10 through 12. For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet pleased men, I should not be the servant of Christ. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after me. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ. Okay, so now chapter 2, start 10, like the normal do, okay? Only they would that we should remember the poor, the same which I also was forward to do. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed. For before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision. 3:10. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, Cursed is every one that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God. It is evident, for the just shall live by faith. And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them. Chapter 4:10. Ye observe days and months and times and years. I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain. Brethren, I beseech you, be as I am, for I am as ye are. Ye have not injured me at all. 5, verse 10. I have confidence in you through the Lord, that ye will be none otherwise minded. But he that troubleth you shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be. And I, brethren, if I yet preach circumcision, why do I yet suffer persecution? Then is the offense of the cross ceased. I would they were even cut off which trouble you. 6:10. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. Ye see how large a letter I have written unto you with mine own hand. As many as desire to make a fair shew in the flesh, they constrain you to be circumcised, only lest they should suffer persecution for the cross of Christ. And then he kept urging me to go to Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8, 9, and 10. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath beforehand, right, before ordained that we should walk in them. Take everything to God in prayer. I hope this blessed you. It has blessed me. And I'm going to link or put that 3 or 5 minute video at the end. God bless you.
I don't know, there was like 5 things in front of me, like maybe Hebrew words or something in front of me, or something. There's 5 things, and I knew they spelled out peace, Peace. And I woke up and I was thinking, my dad's not dad. My dad is not dead. He's alive. dead. He's alive. And then I got peace, Peace. Peace, be still and know. Peace, be still and know that I am God. And it reminds me of the Exodus. Like, be still and know that I am God. I go before you, and they're all going to see.
Okay, so when I was having that, like I said, I saw 5 things before me, and I don't know, it was like letters or blocks, 5 blocks or something, and I know that it said peace. And like I said, I was in a dark area. It was just black. It was just darkness around me, and the way I felt, I had my like arms down and fist like down, yelling at something in the darkness, and I could tell it was probably people, like mockers and scoffers. And I felt and looked like I was a little girl, and kind of like when you're getting bullied on the playground is what it felt like. You're on the playground, you're getting teased, and you're saying something, trying to get them to stop, and it was all black around me, and I was just yelling, my dad's not dead, he's alive. My dad's not dead, he's alive. And all of a sudden, like booming from the back and over me, kind of like when you think of a protective father standing behind you, like having your back, like booming from behind me, I heard peace, be still, peace, be still and know. And so he was upset, he was mad, um, about the torment, and he was protective, and he sees and he knows, and he says that he is, he gives vengeance. He Vengeance is his, says the Lord, and that he will protect his children. um and he's not delayed as people think are delayed. He's got perfect timing, he's in control, and he will stop it.
Jesus paid it all.